welcome back to the Planet Film Network. Welcome back to another PFNLive. Hopefully we are live. We had a bit of a going live malfunction over here. It was putting us live to a private video, but we should be good. Should be here. Let us know. Can you guys see us? Can you guys hear us? But we should be good. Yeah, I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell, and today on episode 105, I think it is, we're going to be talking AMC ticketing policy, a new one that just, I think, I don't know if it was like formally announced or anything, but it was kind of came out in some trades yesterday or 2 days ago. Netflix password sharing, and then we're going to do a draft on who would we choose to fight Kang in the Avengers. Music too loud.
Yeah, I got it. It's
probably
turned
over,
off.
right? So we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. But first, I think we should probably, talk about what we've been watching lately.
Absolutely.
I would like to go first, real quick. I actually got to 2 movies this week.
All right.
Plus, I've been playing. I'm trying to get through God of War. So I've started picking that up again. Had to look a lot of things up because I haven't played it since it came out, and that was November. So
Yeah.
I was a little lost in the story, so I had to, look a few things up. So first thing I watched was a movie you've seen, and you had high praise for, I'd say, and that is Violent Night. So I watched that on Peacock, and I was between a few things, and I was looking for something relatively shorter because it was later. And I was like, you know what? I'll put on Violent Night. Sean said it was pretty good, so I'll check it out. And I feel like a lot of people, not just you, said it was pretty good. Just didn't hit with me. Didn't really fully connect with me. I thought maybe you take everything out and just leave David Harbour and the little girl. Maybe you just take out the entire story.
Keep it simple.
I thought it was pretty, and I get it's kind of like a. It's just a fun slasher type movie. I also thought, David Harbour as Santa was going to be the bad guy. Turns out, he's the good guy trying to stop the robbers. Yeah, I didn't know. So I thought, like a lot of that fight scenes and, all that stuff was really good. Again, the story I could have done without the whole like robbing these rich people, and then we got the family with the kill squad, and this kill squad is in on it, and I was like, I could do without any of this.
Yeah.
But I did laugh at some points. Didn't laugh as much as I wanted to, or as much as I thought I should.
Yeah.
But I thought the strongest part of the movie was probably David Harbour and the little girl. I forget her name. Their kind of chemistry. I thought that was great. But everything else, I was like, maybe we just get rid of it.
Yeah, so you're saying for Violent Night 2, a little less going on, maybe.
Yeah. I didn't even like the Nutcrackers. I didn't even laugh at that, which I was like, I that's something I should find really funny. I didn't find it that funny.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, I mean, I think it is could be hit or miss. What did you think of Leguizamo as the main villain?
I thought he was fine. What was his like? I know his motivation was like really dumb. What was his motivation again?
I think it was just.
Or was it just stealing the?
Well, he just wanted the money, but I think his motivation against Santa was the you never. Get
anything. Like he like grew up with like someone with his parents or something, or yeah. I think at one point. And now it was gonna go in my like little funny review thing. Oh yeah, did he say Christmas ends tonight or Christmas dies tonight?
He said Christmas dies tonight.
That's okay. Because
yeah.
My review was gonna be Christmas dies tonight is the new evil dies tonight.
100%.
So I'm gonna actually edit that because I put Christmas ends, but I was like I couldn't remember if he said dies or ends.
No, it's hilarious.
But yeah, I guess I'm interested to see. I wouldn't be opposed to watching the second one. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I was like my expectations were too high or something. I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'm not really sure what I wanted it to be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. I think it's possible that I think you could pare it down a lot in the sequel. Maybe make it a Die Hard at the North Pole or something, where Santa gets like trapped in the toy factory or whatever.
Right.
But I would like to see like a continuation of the like kind of world building, just like I guess we'll avoid the spoilers on it, but just like what Santa is in history, that's explored like very briefly in this movie. I'd like to see that like kind of expounded upon. But yeah, what else you got?
And then the second movie I watched is a movie that I had been wanting to watch for a while. Not even more than a few months ago. Sometime last year, I was on the little Harrison Ford binge, and I was watching like all those Jack Ryan movies and Air Force One, which isn't a Jack Ryan movie, but so I watched Witness finally. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Very good movie. Highly recommend.
That's what I hear.
Basically,
Amish.
he's a cop, and this Amish boy witnesses a murder, and he's got to protect him. Pretty simple, and then he has to go to the Amish farm. Everybody's great in it. Didn't even know Danny Glover was in it. He's not in it as much as you'd think he'd be, but when he's there. He's really good. Harrison Ford, great. Kelly McGinnis, great. I think my one knock on it would probably be like they develop a relationship in the movie that you can probably gather is probably frowned upon because she's Amish and he's not.
Yeah.
And that whole kind of thing. And they kind of just like they kind of run out of time. It almost feels like. Like you get to something, but then like you're like, okay, well, what happened next? And it's like nothing. It's
you never know. Happened. Yeah, until Witness 2 comes out.
Yeah.
We're waiting. Right. Got anything else?
Did I talk about how I watched the last seasons of The Office that I finished?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that was last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever.
Yeah.
Great show. Again, what can I say? Teared up a little bit at what was it? Obviously Michael leaving, but then Michael coming back in the last episode at Dwight's wedding. That was nice to see too.
That's what she said.
And I'm watching Naruto. I'm on episode 20 so far. Good show. I think that's it. Last thing. I downloaded that app, that serialized app that you were talking about last week. And I will say it's a better layout and it's more Letterboxd-esque.
Yeah.
But you can only from what I can tell, I could be wrong. You can only log seasons.
Oh, I think there's a way to do episodes, but I'd have to look because like I said, I am not the best with keeping track of my shows.
Right.
Just because like I said last week, I'll throw something on and like there's no way for me to keep track of it consistently, but I'll take a look at it. I don't know. The curse of the yawning is back. I should have gotten a coffee. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to track individual episodes, but if not, maybe it's different. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely hard to keep track of TV accurately. I feel it's just so much harder than movies. But yeah, awesome. So I have been watching. I always like it when we start a new like month out on Letterboxd and it lines up with our Tuesday shows because now I can just look at all of February for what I've been watching since the last show.
Oh yeah.
I started as I talked about last time. I watched the 1968 Planet of the Apes to rewatch it. And then my roommate had never seen any of the newer ones. So we watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Then today we finished Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and started War for the Planet of the Apes right before we went live. And then I also ended up watching Hereditary twice, because I watched it with I started it with my roommate, a few days back, and then she, I think, went to bed or went upstairs or something, and so then I finished it by myself. But then today she was like, we should finish that. So we went back to where we had left off, which was only like 25 or something minutes in, and then finished it. That is a really fucked up movie, but very very good. Oscar for Tony. And then I finished my Shrek watch through, with Shrek Forever After, and then just because I wanted to, right after I finished all 4 movies with Shrek Forever After, I went back and I rewatched Shrek 2 again. Fantastic movie. And then I also watched Star Wars The Clone Wars movie for 2008. Still very good because I love the characters, Rex, Ahsoka, everybody, but still the 2008 Clone Wars movie. It's the inception, it's the seed of, where this was all going to lead to, but it's not, fantastic as something like season 7. And then also last night I just got home from work and I was just like, I want to watch a great movie, so I watched Batman Begins, which fantastic as always. Then the main thing that I watched, which I won't even talk about my thoughts on here because I already posted a full review for it, is I actually have now seen Knock at the Cabin twice. That's M. Night Shyamalan's new film in theaters, starring Dave Bautista, Rupert Grint, Ben Aldrich, and Jonathan Groff, as well as a couple other people. Yeah, I will send you guys over, if you want my thoughts, send over to the review that is up on the channel. I'm sure you can find it right now. I might even put it in the chat for you guys. But that's pretty much all I've been watching. TV-wise, main thing that I've been watching TV-wise is I have been working my way through the last season of Hannibal again. Just getting back on that grind. But throughout that, I also checked out Ginny and Georgia on Netflix, which is one of its highest rated shows right now. It's good for me, I think. So Ginny and Georgia is the mom, and then Ginny is her daughter, and it kind of follows how both of them are going through the challenges, like, in their life, basically, and then their stories are intertwined, obviously. But it's very, like, soap opera-y, very drama-y, very, like, CW drama stuff, but on an elevated kind of Netflix budget. And I won't say that it's, like, a CW show, like, terrible acting type thing. It's just that type of show. But for me, I think the show is really good when it's with the Georgia storyline, the more adult stuff. I think it's just what I relate to more at this point, because honestly, all the Ginny stuff with being in high school and all that drama, I'm like rolling my eyes, and a lot of people feel that way online. Is they're like, Ginny and Georgia is good, but it's the most cringeworthy show like I've ever seen. I agree with that 100%. I think that, like, the stuff that isn't cringeworthy is very good. Like, I'm super, like, engrossed in the character dramas and stuff. But then all the stuff that's just like, oh my god, like these 15 and 16-year-olds I just can't stand watching. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have been watching. So let's just go ahead and dive right on over here to, let's start off with box office, just because it's been a couple weeks since we've checked in with the box office. Really, the main two stories here with the box office itself, and I'll just go quickly. Number 1 at the box office this weekend, let's see, hopefully this comes through, there we go. As you guys can see here, Knock at the Cabin came in number 1 at 14.1 million. 80 for Brady came in number 2 at 12.7 million. But it's interesting because if you actually break down to the tickets sold, 80 for Brady actually way outsold Knock at the Cabin, but it made less because, and I can speak to this because I work at a movie theater, every ticket for 80 for Brady at every location anywhere, regardless of company, is either the matinee pricing or the value day pricing. So tickets are basically half off or significantly discounted for 80 for Brady, and that's going to be going forward. That's for its entire run. Paramount basically is just putting this movie out at a discount, which is interesting. But clearly, it packed a ton of people in. I mean,
the fact that he retired last week probably also helps.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm sure honestly, there's probably some correlation between that because he's an executive producer and stars in the movie and everything. And like you said, people are feeling nostalgic about Brady because he did retire and everything. But it was definitely, for my theater, it was definitely the #1 movie of the weekend, hands down. Coming in at 12.7, that's pretty good. Another significant win for Paramount, which Top Gun was great, but we're in a new year and you need to start making up that Babylon money. Number 3, which is kind of the biggest story here, Avatar finally dethroned, popping down to number 3, knocking the cabinet 80 for Brady, beating it. 8 weeks at number 1, or 7 weeks at number 1, not bad. Hasn't been done since the first Avatar movie, but we are slowly starting to see the giant kind of come off of its hill here. Number 4 is going to be Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which we'll talk more about in a second, coming in with 7.8 million. And then number 5 is BTS Yet to Come in Cinemas, which is another one of these BTS concert cinema experiences. There have been a couple of them in the past year that came in at 5.1 million, which is significant if you look at the fact that it only played in about 1,100 theaters. So very interesting there. Yeah, it's I think the idea is that it was supposed, like, somebody read it. I think it's supposed to read for the poster is what I'm saying. I think you're supposed to read it as like best yet to come in cinemas. Like, I think that's how you're supposed to read it. But when you just read it like that, or on our Usher schedules, it just says BTS Yet to Come in Cinemas, and it's like there's just no like, there's no like what's that word, syntax to it. Like, there's no like rhythm to the words. It's just like but I think it's supposed to be. It makes sense on the poster, but it is definitely a weird name here. So the last thing I want to talk about box office wise is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So Puss in Boots is absolutely destroying it at the box office quietly in Avatar's counter programming shadow, essentially. So it has beaten the first Puss in Boots both worldwide and domestically. As well as now it's kind of going down the list of other DreamWorks animation projects, kind of killing that one movie at a time. I know it's beaten a couple of the Kung Fu Panda movies, beaten the first 2 How to Train Your Dragon movies. So it is a big climb for that movie. And right now it's sitting domestic at 151.6 million. And then the big number worldwide, 370.8 million, almost $400 million. And it's really honestly still climbing. Which is crazy. Yeah. Again, as we've looked at in weeks past on this website, the numbers, it does this helpful little graphic of basically where the industry projected a movie like this to make versus where it has gone. And as you can see, that is a humongous difference. So, very excited to see that movie just constantly climbing up the charts. But yeah, what are your thoughts? What's your take on some of this box office stuff with Puss in Boots going crazy, Avatar finally coming off of its top spot at the podium? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is just the demand for another Shrek movie. No, but I think people really like that universe, and I think people really like going back to that universe. I feel like these movies don't come out very often. Like, when was the last Puss in Boots movie?
13 years ago.
So well, even that, like, when was the last kind of movie in this DreamWorks universe like that?
13 years ago. That was the last one.
So,
yeah.
And obviously there, clearly this shows that if you make a good one, like you said, this movie, and a lot of people, again, this is nominated for, or no, it's not.
It's for Best Animated Feature, yeah.
Yeah. So clearly, obviously, they made a good movie. So if you make another good movie in the Shrek universe, clearly people are going to show up. And I think there is going to be a Shrek 5.
Yeah, I think there is definitely going to be a Shrek 5 and a Puss in Boots 3. I think you haven't seen it yet,
never
correct?
made like a. Have they? No, I haven't seen it. But have they ever made like a donkey movie or anything, or not?
No, but Eddie Murphy was interviewed last week for that new Netflix movie.
Right.
I think it's You People. And he talked about, he was like, I love Puss in Boots, but there's no way he's funnier than Donkey. Like, where's my Donkey movie, basically? And I genuinely, you kind of nailed it on the head with what you just said of this universe. is the last time this franchise kind of existed, which was, just over a decade ago. We now have this hyper want for interconnectivity, and I mean it's always been there, but with the MCU and everything, this hyper want for interconnectivity. If I see this movie, I want it to be worth my time and pay off in another movie. So I wouldn't be surprised if not only does this give us Shrek 5, which is almost a certainty at this point, I think this also guarantees a Puss in Boots 3. Like you said, I think maybe a Donkey movie. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Shrek projects coming, either here or straight to Peacock. And I think that if anything's going straight to Peacock, it is not going to look like those horrendous Puss in Boots Netflix shows that basically have, like, no textures or anything to them that look like they were made for like $100,000 an episode.
Yeah.
Or it looks like an old PS2 game is a better way to put it. I think we could see a lot of the Shrek universe coming, and as it says on the poster here, it says a new fairy tale in the world from the world of Shrek. So I wouldn't be surprised if that, coupled with Shrek has always still been popular, in the movies, with merchandise and in just pop culture and everything. I think that they're gonna see this universe continue and be big for years to come, which is awesome because I mean it's obviously movies that we grew up with coming back in a big way. I know there's gonna be a lot of that. I'm still waiting on the definitive live action Ben 10 trilogy, but we'll get there one day. All right, next up here, just a couple of quick shout out stories here. Is Viola Davis this weekend at the Grammys became the third African-American woman in history to get an EGOT, which is awesome. And she definitely was very aware of the moment. It was part of her speech. I didn't watch the Grammys, but I did find her acceptance speech later on and watched it. It was just, she was just kind of like grinning ear to ear, but it's just fantastic for her. And only one of 18 people ever to get an EGOT.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's killing it with Amanda Waller, the Woman King.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that are probably like one away.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. There's actually 480 for Brady. There's a great video where the four of them are going around and they're like the four main stars of that movie are going around and they're like comparing how close they are to an EGOT. And Lily Tomlin's like, I have 2 Golden Globes, and Jane Fonda was like, it's not Golden Globes, it's Grammys. Like, she was like, that's not how it works. You can't cheat it with a Globe. But yeah, no, 100%. It'd be interesting stats to look up to see who's closest or who maybe got the closest without actually getting all the way. Because I feel like it's the Tony that holds a lot of people back. But yeah, very, very awesome for her. Next up, speaking of Oscar nominations, we have an exorcism going on in Hollywood, which is Austin Butler says he is finally getting rid of the Elvis accent. He said I've probably damaged my vocal cords with all that singing. One song took 40 takes. I think this guy just got caught up in the PR machine of keeping that accent. And I feel like there needed to be a hard break.
Well, he probably had to get rid of it too if he was going to do anything else. He
and Dave Bautista, Dune. Dave Bautista said, I think I might have even talked about it on last week's show, but that like Austin Butler's like insanely good in Dune 2. So I'm assuming he's not going around Dune 2, talking like Elvis. But there was this great meme that was going around like a week or two ago that said, like, Austin Butler has been removed from Dune 2 after reportedly showing up to set and saying, I don't know who this Paul fella is, but it just said ... Thought that was hilarious. But good for Austin Butler. He's a great actor. I feel like last time we had something teetering on the edge of cringeworthy with a musical biopic was kind of how hard Rami Malek went into Freddie Mercury, which, like, you have to get into character, you have to get into that headspace and everything. But I feel like the general consensus is like, okay, we get it. You did the role. Good, great. Like, but Austin Butler's genuinely such a good actor. I'm like, please don't talk like Elvis the rest of your life. So I'm glad that he is not. Next up here, if we want to trade off here, one every other, we have our very first reactions to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which had its first big LA press event last night. It was. I have heard some great things that I really liked hearing, and some not so great things that I was a little more worrisome about. But I wanted to find a good kind of collection of them, and on Variety, I did find surprisingly a lot of disparate opinions being thrown around here. So
diverse, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know what I said. Which I'll start off with this one. So we got Jazz Tanky said had an absolute blast watching Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Creative, irresistibly energetic, and filled with some great action sequences. Welcome, Jonathan Majors, such a badass. The effects are superb. So that sounds great right off the bat. I mean, there's a lot of the common thread in all of these is Jonathan Majors is fantastic. But also I like the effects are superb. So, maybe focusing a little bit more time on making sure that they're getting the effects in a place that, hopefully the internet won't tear them apart on, but I'm sure they probably still will. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, this is from Mike Ryan. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Trying to imagine a Marvel novice, one ticket please, then getting 2 hours of variant and multiverse talk. Jonathan Majors is great as Kang, and for a good portion of the movie, Michelle Pfeiffer is the main character, which is awesome. There's more, but I think we'll just
there. I think that's good. And I've kind of seen this too, this kind of overall theme of talking about, I've seen a lot of people saying it's a surprising amount of world building being thrown at you for a Marvel movie, which I think is interesting. Let's see if anybody else brings that up. We have Sean Keane here. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has too much going on. It's tough to connect emotionally to any of it. Jonathan Majors Kang is charismatic, intense baddie and visually awesome, but the threat he represents is too abstract. Yeah, I don't know. I think
I was literally just about to say it seems like Marvel is back to its winning ways after the previous movies, but maybe not.
Well, then we get Steve Weintraub here, Frosty himself.
Yeah. I can read this one.
All right.
Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is a strong start to Phase 5. I now understand why it's called Quantumania. Jonathan Majors is excellent as Kang and cannot wait to see where this all goes. 2 after the credits scenes, and both are very good.
There you go. I think that's overall. I feel like there's some mix in here, but I feel like overall it's pretty positive.
Nothing's
here.
like completely like that movie was terrible,
Yeah. Oh, and then here's another kind of clip out that I feel like a lot of people have been saying. Jamie Broadnax here saying Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania gives some heavy Star Wars vibes. I've seen that from a couple different people. Fantastic performance from Jonathan Majors, who is incredible as the big bad villain. Make sure to stay for the 2 post-credit scenes. Just praising Jonathan Majors again. And then this is the main one that I saw, which is the best Star Wars movie since 2018 is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's a huge sci-fi adventure with gorgeous world building that feels almost a little un-Marvel in how much world building there is. But it's got humor, heart, Kang completely rules, and Michelle Pfeiffer steals it. So yeah, that's another thing that we've been hearing throughout this is that Janet is kind of got a very big role in this movie, or at least a very big emotional role in this movie. How do you feel about Michelle Pfeiffer kind of stealing the show here, apparently?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I've only seen Ant-Man and the Wasp once, and she's not in most of the movie, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
But I like her as an actor, so I'm excited to see what happens, and I don't know. I feel like somebody's probably not going to make it out of this movie. I don't know who. Maybe it's her and Michael Douglas. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting major vibes that one of them is going to go in this, just because of how long it's been, how many movies they've been in, and it's a great way to kind of launch or launch Scott and Hope, or maybe it's Scott or Hope that bites it in this one. I don't know. I think we'll have to see. But just read a couple more here, which is there comes a point where every franchise has to get weird, and the MCU has done just that with Ant-Man 3. Like all his other roles, Jonathan Majors remains endlessly compelling. More Jonathan Majors love in this one. And then I guess we'll end on this one, which I also saw, which is after a frustratingly rough Act 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania finally gets going, only to end where the story should have began. While the external stakes are clear and weighty, emotional drive felt slight and levity even lighter. That said, Jonathan Majors rules. So that's probably the most negative one that we've seen so far. But yeah, how do you kind of? Oh, well, hang on, I gotta read these ones. I didn't even see these. Mark Ellis had a great time kicking off Phase 5 with Quantumania. Engaging, fast-paced storytelling with humor, heart, and tons of action. So much new that locked me back into the MCU. Get excited and get tiny. There you go. All right, how you feeling about Quantumania after hearing some of this?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I feel like we've all had a little MCU break. What was the last thing?
Wakanda Forever.
Okay, that was what, October?
November 10th, I think. Yeah, so it's been
so
3 months.
2-3 months, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I've really liked the trailer so far. I'm interested to see, you know, like everybody's saying, this really expands the universe. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna spend a lot of time in the quantum realm, I'd imagine, in this movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where that takes us. And you know, we had a little bit of Jonathan Majors and Loki, and that was obviously a variant, correct, of Kang, right?
Yep.
So I'm excited to see, you know, if there's other variants and maybe in this movie, and you know, I think there was a shot of MODOK that I saw that looked kind of cool earlier today on Twitter. Yeah, so I'm actually really interested to see what MODOK looks like, because I know we've seen kind of those like quick images in the trailer, and there's one, if you pause it just right, like it looks not great, but again, that's probably not finished, I have to imagine. So I'm interested to see how that looks.
And I think it could just be the kind of goofiness that MODOK brings, because after all, he is literally just a giant head with tiny little arms and legs. But I am excited to see kind of how MODOK brings everything together here. One thing that I am not excited for, and a lot of people are not excited for, and I'll get your thoughts on this, because I feel like lately, at least, you've probably been going here more than I have. But AMC has introduced right off the bat. You know what? Actually, let's go in chronological order here. I feel like we gotta take this in chronological order. So literally last week, literally the morning after last week's live show, Wednesday morning, Netflix put out their anti-password sharing method, which was once every 31 days, your device must be logged into your home Wi-Fi network, or your account and device will be blocked from using Netflix. So this obviously resulted in a huge uproar. Everything from, like, you know, how are you so tone deaf? How are you not realizing, like, this is not going to get people to give you more money? It's just going to get less people using your platform. And then I feel like things really heated up and kicked up a notch when everybody, and this is all just on Twitter, obviously, but clearly it's an effective campaign because of what happened next. And Netflix is clearly paying attention. But, you know, the other thing was, the only reason that people pay you, Netflix, for your service is that you were affordable and easier than pirating. The second that you become more complicated and more expensive than pirating, it's all over for you. Because guess what?
Netflix is probably the most expensive.
Oh, 100%, without a doubt.
Close to base tier, right? Probably.
Yeah, because I mean the base tier is, I think, $18.99. And then the highest tier, or whatever it is I think it's between like $21.99 and like $24.99, depending on where you live. And And so then this would be charges in addition to that for the different accounts, which is just insane to begin with. But
All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Let me just break this down real quick so we're correct. So basic with ads is $7 a month.
Okay.
Basic is 10. So I'm assuming that's HD without ads.
Yeah.
Standard is $15.49 a month, and premium is 20.
Okay. I feel like there was definitely a point where it was more. I wonder if they've lowered it.
I thought there was too, but
Yeah.
maybe
But either way, big huge uproar, and then Netflix listened, but in the way of listening, just decided to act like nothing happened, basically. So then, literally 2 days later, Netflix has removed the new anti-password sharing rules from their website, stating that they were posted as an error and are not yet applicable to the U.S. After this Twitter post and this article came out, they then later doubled down and said not only is it not applicable in the U.S. yet, but we don't plan on rolling it out to the U.S., that it's just simply, it was just simply a test idea, which obviously, believe what you want to believe, but sounds like total bullshit to me. But what's your kind of thoughts on this? And we got 5 people watching here. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole Netflix kind of tone deaf kind of drama of because also there was another big aspect too of what about college kids? What about people with divorced parents living in 2 households? Even Justice Smith, who, the actor who has worked on multiple Netflix projects, he had a big tweet go viral that basically said, so if I get a job for Netflix that requires me to go film in London for 2 months, does that mean that my account is going to get blocked because I can't log into my home Wi-Fi? Like, or people that travel for work and everything like that. So what are your kind of thoughts on this this whole Netflix,
So as far as that goes, I thought I had seen something that was an idea where it's like you could get a unique code or something like that if you do travel or something like that. Again, that's I'm not sure if that is true. First of all, I get the how people would be annoyed with the whole kind of no password sharing. It's always been a thing, really. Something you're not supposed to do, but it was never regulated.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to enforce it, and they want to, and people are mad about it. And I've made the argument too. I am on the wagon of technically you are stealing if you are using somebody's password and you don't live with them, and you are taking money away from Netflix. But on the same hand,
they encouraged it back in the day too. There's all those tweets that they're like, love is sharing a password.
Right, people like retweeted that tweet from like 5-6 years ago or whatever that Netflix tweeted. I think that it's something that they need to do because they're getting more expensive, and spending $500 million on movies and stuff, like on Ryan Johnson deals and Daniel Craig deals and stuff like that doesn't help, obviously.
The Gray Man, 250 on the Gray Man.
Right. But at the same time, like, you need to find ways to make more money, and this would be one, because then you're forcing everybody else that doesn't already have an account to get one. Now, the question, I think, is your catalog good enough for people to want to buy your service?
Yeah.
Especially with, Disney and Hulu and HBO.
Yeah, with everything else out there.
With everything else, because those studios used to come to you and say, or you used to go to them and be like, hey, give us your stuff, we'll put it on our streaming service because you guys were the only ones in town. Now it's everybody else. So I don't know. I think it's tough. I think they're in a tough situation because, again, they got to make more money, but at the same time they're kind of pissing off a lot of people, but what those people are doing isn't really correct.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's like, fair to think that on either side of the issue of, is it better to kind of, share? Well, I should say, is it more an issue of sharing the passwords is what's not getting them the revenue, or is it more of an issue of this is just not the way to go about it? And I think that that's a really difficult question that I don't envy them having to answer. But I just think it's a little ridiculous with what this plan was, just because of specifically, people with divorced families, college students that are away from home that don't have their own, if they're going at home on the weekends and then living in their dorm during the week, like, that's not really fair to them. It basically boils down to, I saw this perfect tweet that boiled it down, which it was just somebody on Twitter. It wasn't anybody that I am aware of. It just said, you look at the tiers that they have, and it says, highest tier, 4K, 4 screens. You're paying for 4 screens. They should not be able to tell you where those 4 screens are, period. If, that should be how it works. So if my kid, lives 35 minutes away during the week, are you going to, and let's say he's binging a show, right? He's going to watch it at college, but then he's going to come home and have to go onto a different Netflix account, try and figure out where he was in the show. It takes away the whole benefit of what Netflix is. You know what I mean? Like, I remember the old commercials for, Time Warner Cable, press OK to continue watching. That was like, oh my God, you could finish watching it in a different room. Like, that's part of the stuff that was like, holy crap about Netflix back in the day, was like, you can pause it at your house, and then, on the bus ride home from work the next day, you can finish the episode on your phone. That's stuff that used to be like these little signifiers of value for Netflix and then streaming as a whole. But just jumping over to chat real quick here, Spider Boy 2 Clock. All right, Spider Boy 2 Clock. Tell Netflix put Spectacular Spider-Man back on. I think that might have been Peter Parker in the chat. Shout out Peter.
I think it is, or maybe they took it off. I thought it was back on.
I think it's on Disney Plus. I think it might be. Yeah, so check that out. If you have a VPN, maybe hook it up to the UK one. They usually have a wider library. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the Spider-Man section there.
Now, real quick though, now this whole traveling thing, that would take that away. Because if you're using a VPN, it thinks you're in the UK, which means it wouldn't technically be connected to your router. You know what I mean? It wouldn't know that you're home. So doesn't that kind of take that away?
Yeah, the VPN of it all, like, I for one, just my own experience, I've seen countless, like, posts and YouTube videos saying that it still works. I haven't been able to successfully access another country's Netflix for years. I feel like every time I go to, but there are people that say they still can and everything, and it's still in the ExpressVPN commercials and everything, and NordVPN commercials, all that stuff. But anytime I do it, it says, warning, you cannot access this. We detect you're on a proxy server. It gives me like a proxy error, it says. So now I wouldn't be surprised if you try to do something like that, if it just says your account is done. If it just says you're blocked.
Maybe I shouldn't try that. I was just about to.
I mean, if they canceled these plans, you might be okay.
Yeah.
But let's see. Michelle says, the things that drew me to Netflix, the things that drew me to Netflix, like documentaries, I used to love, new content, etc. They're just not even doing it anymore. And I looked at the documentaries; they are all outdated. They're pricing themselves out, giving you less new content and not allowing the sharing like others do. They're going to take some more big losses. And then we also have Tama Muriwai, I think. Netflix took an L. Netflix also has more competition nowadays. Yeah, I think those two point out something important, which is, you look at something like Paramount Plus or Disney Plus, they're not talking about password sharing. You know what I mean? They don't care. You know what I mean? And I know
at the same time too, they have their they're very large historic studios, especially like Disney. We got parks and we got all these other avenues of revenue. We're not just a streaming service.
And that's the one thing that Netflix just can never compete with, is they are on their own. Netflix is Netflix's income. Disney Plus is 15-20% of Disney's income. So it is not a top priority for them. Also, it's the whole kind of, first one through the door is always the bloodiest of like Netflix, overextended themselves for years of, I feel like it was probably just pre-pandemic that we started hearing all this stuff about like, how is Netflix making money? Like they're spending like 200 million on this, but then like they're not making that back and all this and that. And now I feel like the biggest like kind of hole in the wall or like chink in the armor was the Office, was losing the Office, was like, okay, that was a big loss. And then they started losing, like you said, all of their legacy and licensed content.
How much did they pay for Seinfeld? Didn't they pay like $100 million?
Yeah, it was like $140 million or something. Which is crazy because like I think I saw somewhere that just off that deal, just a straight up check, Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David made like $50 million off of that Netflix deal, which is insane amount of money.
And I don't even think they have it exclusively.
They don't.
I was gonna say I think
it's on
Netflix,
Peacock, isn't it?
And no, maybe it is just Netflix.
Oh, okay.
That's
well,
what Just Watch says.
Good for them.
Never mind.
All right. Well, that's what they have. But again, it's a licensing deal. It's not permanent. It's only for a select number of years, and that was about 2 or 3 years ago. So it's probably going to be over soon. And they can't keep shelling out money for that just to get people to hopefully stay. But I think to answer your question that you asked a little bit ago, in my opinion, I don't think that their content is worth it. I just don't. I've been over the past like year and a half, I have slowly just been kind of going more and more into the camp of I make sure I have Netflix once every couple months to watch the movie that's coming out, binge a show I've heard is really good, and then basically just move on. Because I just don't go to it and be like, oh, yeah, Making a Murderer and, this and that and all, House of Cards and stuff like that. I feel like they don't even have shows
every
like
so
that
often
anymore.
they got something. Every so often they got
every
something.
so often, yeah. Like you look at like Wednesday, but then look at the gap from like Wednesday to Glass Onion. There was like 2 months where there was just nothing. Like and by that I mean obviously there was dozens and dozens of Netflix titles that came out during that time, but they're all shit. Like they're all like, Nailed It Brazil season 7 is not going to get me to pay $21 a month per place I want to watch your service. It just is not. And then also they're having all this trouble too. Not really part of this story, but all this trouble. You hear about all this stuff going on with their like real life Squid Game thing. That apparently like people are getting injured.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I heard about that today actually.
Yeah, they're doing like a real life Squid Game, obviously with no, death. But it's in the UK, and there's 456 contestants, just like in the show. And the prize, I think the prize is like £4.56 million or something like that. But basically, the big story was like with what they were doing, the red light, green light thing, which is like the thing turns around and then you run and whatever. Yeah. But the problem was because they're filming it like a reality TV show, they would say, all right, stop. And then they would do 10, 15 minutes of coverage getting all these different shots. These people were standing there for like 12 hours when they were told that like each game would be 1 day of filming in essence. If not even less than that. So people were getting all these like sores on their legs. They were getting bruised, like worn out, all this stuff. And apparently none of the contestants have gotten paid what they were promised as even the daily rate was. And this is all from Netflix. So it's like they have that little problem brewing for them as well. But guys, let us know, what do you think about all this stuff going on with Netflix and password sharing? What is going to happen with Netflix in the coming years? What are some of the things that what's some things that Netflix could change or old features that they could add back? or ease of life things that they could add in that would get you guys to be fully back on board with Netflix? Or did you never get off board with Netflix? Are you still just going along with it and everything like that? Let us know down below in the comments. But TJ, let's go ahead and move over to our last story of the day, which is all this crap with AMC, which apparently they did not learn from Netflix, pissing off all of their customer base. So do you want to read some of this first here?
Yeah. Ashley Carter tweeted this yesterday. Today 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah. AMC Theaters has announced a new ticket pricing strategy called Sightline at AMC. As part of the new strategy, ticket prices will be based on seat location. There will be 3 different seat pricing options: standard, value, and preferred. Standard is seats are the most common in auditoriums and are available for traditional cost of a ticket. Value is seats in the front row of the auditorium, as well as select ADA seats in each auditorium, and are available at a lower price than standard Sightline seats. Value pricing is only available to Stubs members, including the free tier membership, AMC Insider, and preferred is seats that are typically in the middle of the auditorium and are priced at a slight premium to standard Sightline seats. As an added benefit to AMC's most loyal moviegoers, A-list members may make reservations in the preferred Sightline section at no additional cost. So this is interesting because I feel like this was talked about years ago when we were still there. And nothing ever came of it.
For context, I would say, I guess, TJ and I both used to work at AMC Theaters.
Yes.
For years, but we no longer do.
And I believe this was something that was kind of like a rumor. Of course, we all thought it was dumb.
Yeah.
But obviously, nothing ever came of it until now. And me personally, I still think it's stupid.
100%.
For me, I really don't care where I don't sit in the front row, but other than that, I don't care where I sit. So to me, this doesn't really affect me. I'm not a big middle person. I really like to sit on the ends of rows. So if you ever see me anywhere, I like even at like a game or a hockey game, a Bills game, I'm always gonna be trying to sit on the end.
Yeah.
So to me, it doesn't matter. What is it? So Patrick Dougal looks like his name is. He said so he showed a map of a Lincoln Square showing at AMC. Said middle seats will be premium cost, while closer seats will be cheaper. Wonder how long this will last. AMC A-list members can choose preferred seats with membership.
And what it doesn't show here is the very front row is blocked off here, but that is also listed in blue. And then, as you can see now, here, a couple of the handicap seats as well. I was
just gonna say, what does a companion seat count as?
So, I mean, to me, well, it's weird because the first post I saw about it said that it would include some ADA seats, which ADA companion seats is kind of a whole different thing.
Is that what that is? I didn't know what ADA was.
Well, ADA companion seats, what I know it as in the theater that I work at, is basically if someone's coming in from like a home, whether it be like a special needs home or an elderly home, or something like that, they can get an ADA pass, which would be free. So I'm wondering if they just got their wires crossed and just said ADA in terms of the handicap row. But as you can see here, not all of the handicap row is even discounted. It's just 1 or 2 seats, which is very weird. And also, right here, I feel like is where this all lives and dies. Oh, you guys can't even see my cursor. I'm pointing. Let's see here if I can get this a little bit better for you guys. There we go. This right here is the real thing that's like ridiculous, because your whole thing, which first of all, we can get into a lot of different angles on this, but the first thing I'll go into is right here, these 4 seats, you're paying 3 different prices for this. This is, let's say this is an $8 ticket, a $10 ticket, or let's be more realistic. There's a $12 ticket, a $14 ticket, and a $16 ticket. You're in the same spot. There's no difference there. you are sitting in the same area of the auditorium, and not only is that just stupid, in my opinion, but also, a movie theater is not, as you just said, a movie theater is not a Bills game. A movie theater is not Madison Square Garden. It's not a concert hall. It's not Shays. You're not, the closer you are, the more of the stage you can see. You can see the actor's face. You can see Taylor Swift. She's right there in front of me. You're at a movie theater where you're supposed to have the same experience no matter where you are in the auditorium. And AMC, in their official press release, even said as much, which makes no sense. They started it out with, while at AMC, while every seat at AMC offers an amazing movie-going experience, we are aware...
Some are better than the others.
Yeah, we exactly. They basically pin it on the customers. They say, we are aware that some of our guests prefer, their seat choice over savings, whereas some of our customers prefer value over where they're sitting. Nobody wants to go to a movie for $2 less to sit in the front row like this the entire time. You know what I mean? Like, if it was $10 less or $5 less, then yeah, maybe you would get, some people doing that. So that's idiotic to me, using that argument that it's just like, any other premium seating arrangements, like a concert or something. The other thing that's kind of insane to me is I work in a movie theater. You've worked in a movie theater. If somebody's going to buy a cheap ticket and then 5 minutes after the credits start, move to the middle rows, that's just what's going to happen. And I'm sorry, but these theaters are not packed houses. Maybe on Ant-Man opening night, then sure, you're going to, have a rigid seat structure. But on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, for the first 20 shows of the day, you're going to have 10 to 15 people in a 50 to 150 seat auditorium. Nobody's going to be paying for, you're going to be looking at the seating chart and all these white seats are going to be filled, and you're going to go, that's weird, nobody's buying the preferred tickets. And then you're going to go in there and they're sitting in the exact opposite. Like,
I'm surprised maybe you don't make it on a depending on demand basis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as far as like an Ant-Man or an Avatar or something like that. Those movies, maybe you implement this, but you don't need it during the week, like you just said. It's just not. There's not enough people in the theater for it to matter.
100%. And I think, like what you just said, I think that is I still think this whole thing is just ridiculous from the get-go, but I do think that is a good correction for the idea, is to just apply it to the screenings that want it. But I think these companies, they just want a set it and forget it way to make money. They don't want to do the extra work of, okay, well, let's apply it to the opening weekends of these films, but then not to the Monday mornings. Something like that. They just don't want to put in that effort, which is just insane to me, because it's just like this. And then you look at the outcry, just like with the Netflix thing, everybody's losing their minds over all this. I just can't believe how tone deaf all of this is. But then again, I can with,
really?
knowing who the CEO is. Yeah. Adam Aaron is just, if he didn't single-handedly save this country's economy, I would have so many, strong words to say against him right now.
I think Reddit did that.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
I forgot. He's the one that just comes in and steals the credit for everything.
Yes, correct.
Now I remember. Anything left to say on this AMC thing? Because I'd rather end on a fun Avengers conversation.
No, I have. I actually haven't been there in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do about Ant-Man. I still haven't bought tickets, but I can tell you this: around us, this has not been implemented. Yeah,
that is correct. Yeah, and I would not be surprised. You know what? I think I could see this going either way, and I guess I'll throw this to the audience here. That's what I'll leave you with on this question. Do you? Because right now it's rolling out Friday. in test markets of New York, LA, and I want to say it was either Chicago or Houston. I think it was the two big cities, and then it was either Chicago or Texas. And so my question is, do you think this is going to get past the test phase? Do you think it will roll out to theaters around us? My gut wants to say that if they were smart, it wouldn't. But knowing AMC, and not even as an employee, I'm just talking about knowing Adam Aaron and how he thinks about things and everything, I think they're just gonna storm ahead with it. I think they're just gonna do it, and it is going to be a train wreck. That's what I think. But guys, let us know, what did you think about all this AMC stuff? Do you think it's, well deserved? I know TJ brought up when we were talking about Netflix that yes, at the end of the day, that's an issue though that in reality people are overusing it and causing Netflix to lose profit. This is just a way to build additional profits off of the seats and services that we already had. So what do you guys think about all of that? Let us know in the comments down below. And then before we move on here, I just want to touch on chat real quick. Michelle said when we were talking about Netflix, she said hashtag Peacock love LOL. Yeah, I know that's a personal favorite of hers. And I will say, I think Peacock, a couple years back, we gave HBO Max most improved streaming service. I think Peacock is really making some strides. I think we got 3 years running HBO Max. Then last year was probably Paramount Plus for most improved. I think this year maybe it might be Peacock's year, because I think they're adding a lot of good stuff. They got some great new movies on there and everything too. But then Michelle said about the AMC thing. AMC is in bankruptcy, can put people in the seats like most theaters, and now will piss them off people with higher prices for the middle rows. Not a good business plan. And how are they going to enforce this at AMC? They don't have enough people to walk the aisles like they used to. You're going to need people checking tickets, because if you think that people aren't going to buy the cheap seats and then move since you can't fill an auditorium anymore, you're crazy. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. I agree with that 100%. All right, TJ. We are, I guess, again, we are on the pathway of shorter shows here. But who knows how long this conversation is going to last. This was just a totally natural build in my mind, that I was just looking at some of the MCU posters that I have up in my house. And really the main thing I thought was, I was just like, I really hope that in the next few years we're going to be able to see Moon Knight punch Kang in the face. Like, I was just like thinking, like, I was talking to my roommate about Moon Knight, and I was just like, man, I really want that guy to just be a full-fledged Avenger. Just all of his craziness, just like in the comics. Like, I just want to see Moon Knight go crazy and just punch the shit out of Kang. At least once. So that got me thinking. I was like, well, who would we want to see fight Kang? With all this Ant-Man 3 talk that Kang is now officially introduced here. Again, he's probably going to be popping up soon in Loki Season 2. And then again after that many, many more times. But now that we officially have Kang in the MCU, let's take a look at how to take him down. And so I looked up on the tier maker, is there like an Avengers draft or anything? And actually it came a lot closer to what I was looking for than I thought, which is who is in the Avengers to fight Kang in Avengers 5. So basically we are going to be building up a team or ranking these heroes based on let me pull it up here. It'd be easier for you guys to see. Definitely.
Real quick, can I ask maybe that can we do a combined list maybe?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even know if I scrolled all. Yeah. We have all of these guys right here. Yeah, we are definitely doing like rapid fire combined list for sure. We have definitely an Avenger, so that's going to be, I'll throw his name out because I don't see it going any other way. Your Thors, your people like that are, your OP characters that are definitely going to be punching that guy in the face. Most likely will be on the team, so that's maybe your B team. C team could help out in the fight. I think like, Hawkeye in the main battle in Endgame carrying the glove type thing. No way are they part of the team, so people that probably are not qualified to be standing up against somebody like Kang. and then bruh, they're dead before this fight even begins. So let's just go for it here. TJ, I will pull up the grid here of everybody, and let's just go in whatever order you want. We'll pick out, we'll just pick out somebody at random to start with, and let me know where you want to throw them on.
Oh boy. Okay, let's go Hulk first, I guess.
Okay, where?
On the right above Wasp, I think, or is that Cassie Lang? Bottom right.
Boom. Okay, yes, I see that. All right, where do we want to put Bruce Banner? And are we thinking that this is going to be the weakened Smart Hulk? Is he going to be back to Savage Hulk?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm gonna give him a could help out. I think maybe we start to phase Bruce Banner Hulk out of the MCU, or at least the kind of fighting Hulk that we've seen in previous Avengers, and you go back to the Smart Hulk type thing. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it could go another way, but it's your pick. So, because we're gonna do this kind of a draft way where whichever character we claim, we get. Let's just say we get to put it where we think, to keep it easy for a combined list.
Right.
So I agree with you. I think it could go another way. I think that they might be moving away from the Smart Hulk stuff, and I could see them maybe transitioning towards the Maestro Hulk. Which could put him into beating the shit out of Kang. But I think right now, with the Hulk that we have of introducing his son at a barbecue wearing a Hawaiian shirt, let's just say he could help out. So I agree with you on that one. Okay. I am going to go a little unorthodox here. I am going to go, because also we got to remember, this could be a multiversal Avengers, so there could be even more than who is on here right now, but we do have some variants on here. And the first one I'm going to pick is a variant, and that is, I think that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is going to fight on the multiversal team, because we have heard rumors that the main Avengers team is going, or a main Avengers team is going to fight Kang, and that'll be the battle in the Kang Dynasty. But then that Avengers 6 will consist of a team of multiversal heroes. So I think that Tobey Maguire is going to get his time in the sun, and I think that Kang is going to brutally murder him. I think that Kang is going to kill one of our beloved Spider-Men. I think that is probably almost assuredly going to happen, in my opinion. What do you think? Do you think that Kang is going to take out one of the, whether it's Tobey or maybe even Andrew? But I think that just to have a real, not cheap, but an easy emotional, stab to the audience, I think one of the Spider-Men is probably a likely bet.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
All right, who do you want next?
I'm going to go, next is just going to go slam dunk. I'm going to try to get some of these out of the way. I think Miss Marvel, slam dunk, easy on the team.
Oh my god, I literally just saw
fourth one in from the top left.
There you go. Boom. Yeah, I agree. I think that she is going to have a bigger part to play. I think that there's going to be something going on with some big old power-up that her, Carol, and Monica are going to be able to do together that, I feel like their powers combined is going to do something against Kang, something against his time energy, and that is why my next pick to definitely be on the team is Shang-Chi. I think that obviously that post-credit scene, I think that we had, I think, in my opinion now, firmly, when Wong, Carol, and Bruce are like, it sent out a signal, but where's it going to? I think very clearly to me now that was the quantum realm, where Kang is. Might not be, still could be. Either way, I think that Kang, the rings, the energy, it all looks very similar and concurrent with Miss Marvel's bracelet, what we're seeing in the Ant-Man trailers. I think it's all connected. I think that the Marvels and Shang-Chi are going to be two of the biggest pieces in terms of taking down Kang. Who would you want to go with next?
Sorry.
What about Echo?
No, let's go Thor. Okay, we're gonna go Thor. I'm not gonna. He's not gonna be on the team.
You don't think
I'm
Thor
gonna.
is going to be on the team?
I think I'm gonna put him in most likely.
Okay.
Again, I know Chris. I'm thinking we're gonna start aging some of these people out at some point. It's been a long time. I feel like maybe Chris Hemsworth has more runway than Mark Ruffalo does, as far as MCU goes. But yeah, I think Thor is the most likely, but I don't think it's stuff.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think there's a lot of coverage of time to cover from here to there, and I think that a lot can happen between then. Let's go next with you know what? Let's go lightning round on the Eternals here.
Okay,
Jon Snow. Jon Snow, I think he's dead before this fight even begins.
Dead. I was gonna say no way, but
shit! You know what? Yeah, I forgot that he's like a superhero. Yeah. I was thinking of him at the beginning of them, and obviously not Jon Snow, Dane Whitman, but I forgot that he is Black Knight now and like working with Blade. Let's put him there. I don't think. Maybe later on, he's gonna have a bigger part to play. But Phastos. What about Phastos?
I'm gonna say could help out.
I agree. I think that his engineering mind, I think that we could see ironically with these two, I think we could see a new Science Bros in the MCU, just because, Phastos' whole thing is engineering and weapons building and everything like that. Kingo, I'll say no way. I just think that, you know what? I'll actually go could help out, just because I feel like if there's a way that they can get Kumail Nanjiani to be an Avenger, I think they're going to try and do it. That's just my thought. Cersei, I don't think she's going to be on the team. I think that a lot of these Eternals...
Wow, really?
Well, what do you think?
I thought maybe she most... I would say most likely, honestly. Just because she's kind of the standout, I feel like, of any of them.
Yeah, she's kind of the main character.
For me, that's what I'm just thinking in my head, but...
No, I agree, actually. I think, I think most likely will be on there because she has, what do you call it, transfiguration or transmogrification, whatever you want to say. Sprite, I think, dead before this fight even begins.
Okay, yeah.
I can't even remember what Sprite's power is. I can't even remember. Could she, is it like Mantis? Does she, put people to sleep? Star Fox. Eros himself, Harry Styles.
I think either help out or no way. I don't think you're bringing in Harry Styles like that. I just gotta kill him.
I think that Harry Styles is gonna probably be next in an Eternals 2 or whatever that might look like. Icarus, I don't think he's. I think no way he's gonna be part of the team, just because you'd have to do some hula hoops and backflips to even get him to be able to be on here. After where we left him. What about Droog? I'm
gonna give it a could help out.
I agree. I think he's also one of the more powerful ones, and I believe Thena too. For me, I think she's one of the more powerful ones too, and I think that you could get her on there. I think she would unfortunately be a good one to join the fight and then die. I think that she would be a good death in that movie, because unfortunately, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of death. Last up, Makari. I don't know. I think maybe could help out just to have a speedster there. She's really the only speedster left right now. Sorry, I forgot about Tommy. But yeah, I think she could be good. All right, who do you want to pick?
Real quick, can I make a case for all of the Fantastic Four just not being in this movie at all? Just for the simple fact that maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
It does come out first. Fantastic Four does come out.
Does
it?
Okay. Yeah. I thought it, because I saw a report today that it was going to start filming, and I forgot if it was early next year or early 2025. When I say 2025, that seems really far.
Early, it's already apparently in pre-production, and they said that principal photography is going to be filming in the beginning of 2024, and then
take that back.
I think Fantastic Four is July. Yeah, Fantastic. Actually, it's right before this. I think Fantastic Four is July 2025, and then Avengers 5 is November 2025. I believe.
Avengers 5 right now on IMDb is May 7th, 2025. I don't know.
Oh, 2025? Can you look up what Fantastic Four is? Maybe I have that backwards. Maybe Fantastic Four is July, and it is after.
Oh, that's the wrong Fantastic Four.
But either way, I agree. I don't think
Fantastic
that
Four
Thing is going to be on the team.
February, apparently.
February what?
14th, 2025.
Oh, oh. That's really quick. Okay. Yeah, I'll put him. I'll put the Thing on No Way. I'll put Johnny on maybe. Could help out.
I think they need time. I think you need time to marinate these characters. I don't think you just throw them in there.
I think that Reed. See, but then again, you say that, but then I think to like.
I say Reed could help out. Maybe.
Then I think to like. Infinity War. And Infinity War opens with like. Heimdall and Loki sacrificing themselves, and then Hulk is immediately thrown by Heimdall into Doctor Strange's living room. And I'm like, that's not much time to marinate on a lot of those, on Doctor Strange and Wong, who we literally just met like the year or two before that. But I do agree with you. I think even if they're on the team, I think they're going to take a back step. So let's throw Sue on here. Yeah, I think that's good for them. All right, what about Namor? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the team. I don't think that Ironheart is going to be part of it. I think she's going to be too small potatoes at that point, because if you had said, okay, we're going from Wakanda Forever to an Ironheart movie where she's going to have that huge teched out suit, but they're not. They're stripping her back. They took away that suit at the end of the movie. She's going to be kind of pared down street level stuff. So I don't think she's going to be a part of it. She-Hulk. For me, I think she will be on it.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, yes. I think that she will definitely be on it. Honestly, some of these choices, I'm just like, I don't really have any like empirical evidence. I'm just like, it just feels like She-Hulk is just going to be a big part of what's to come. Like some of those just feel like that. For me, I got to say, I think Moon Knight's going to be on the team. I really think Moon Knight's going to be on it. What do you think? Do you think maybe no?
I think it's a help out maybe.
Like could help out? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. I think if anything, maybe Avengers 6, maybe the multiversal team, maybe he'll be on it even more. Let's see. Okoye, I don't think so. I think there's she's might be in Secret Invasion. She might be in her own series and everything. I think she's got a lot going on. And M'Baku, I'll say no. Shuri could help out.
Could help out, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is a little bit bigger than Wakanda right now. Nakia, I'll go with no way. She's no way.
No, yeah, I don't think
she's teaching in Haiti right now. She's not fighting multiversal Jonathan Majors. Let's go with Andrew. What do we think about Andrew?
I think no way.
You think no way at all?
Yeah, I just. And even
think
with
if
the
it's going to have
one,
a multiverse,
I just can't. I can't get on board with them bringing them back again.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think that they 100% are both going to be back. Like I don't think there's any world. I think you're totally. I mean, I could agree with that. Like I get what you mean, but I don't think there is any world in which they don't come back. I think that you're going to see. You know what? I'm going to change my thought, though, because I do feel like Toby maybe is more of a Secret Wars than if we're going with the team in Kang Dynasty. I think you're right. I think Toby, no way. So I'm going to change that because I think that you could definitely see these two on the team in Secret Wars, as well as a bunch of other multiversal people. But I do agree with you. On that note, what about Tom?
Tom Holland, definitely.
I think, 100%. 100%.
That might be his swan song. or close to it. I don't know when.
No, he'd have. I mean, it could be, but if the contract is to believe, it should be one Spider-Man movie before, then 5, then 6, then Spider-Man 5, then Spider-Man 6. So probably not.
No.
But anything.
Well, either way, he'll be on the team.
Yeah, anything can happen. I think 100%. As long as they can get him, you're never going to see Spider-Man not be a main Avenger. I don't think you're ever going to see that. Red Guardian. I think probably no way.
No way. No.
Yeah, he's a super soldier and a lesser super soldier at that. Speaking of, let's do a speed round of super soldiers. So, Bucky Barnes. I think most likely,
yeah.
Yeah, because he's Bucky. He's earned the spot. He's going to be on there. Captain America, Steve Rogers himself. So based on this picture,
no.
Well, you think so?
Yes. No.
What if he takes a
little? I think Chris Evans
is
done. I think Chris Evans is done.
Even in. Well, all right. We're talking about Kang Dynasty. What do you think about for Secret Wars, though? You don't think so?
Maybe.
I think maybe. Speaking of, let's go with Tony Stark.
You know what I'm going to say about this?
Dead.
No, dead.
Yeah. Rhodey. I think
most likely or could help out.
I think he might be a good swan song. Because he's a huge part of Secret Invasion. Then right after that, we're getting Armor Wars. Then this, I think he's unfortunately, prime candidate for termination in this movie. Because I feel like, even though, we're getting a Rhodey movie finally, I think it's like, okay, here's the movie to really get into this character so that you love him even more than you already do, and then we're going to kill him immediately. I wouldn't be surprised. Pepper Potts, who I saw on here for some reason. Dead before it begins.
Dead.
Quicksilver, dead before it begins, because he's dead. Okay, let's save for Wasp. What do we think about Evangeline Lilly's Wasp?
Honestly, I think it's either no way or they're dead.
Yeah, I'll put her at the back of no way.
I think maybe this could be her last movie.
Yeah, I think it could be, yeah. Mobius. Let's go with some TVA people. I don't think there's any way that there's TVA people on the team.
Yeah.
Sylvie, no way. But Loki
could help out, I'd say.
Yes, I think that Loki could be a pop through a portal. You got to listen to me. Like, one of those numbers. Let's see. What about Lady Sif? -1 arm. I'm going to go with no way.
Okay, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
That I had no opinion on.
Captain Carter, dead.
Okay, dead. Fine.
Natasha, dead.
Natasha, dead.
Drax, dead.
Dead.
Where is he? Where is that little fucker? There we go. Dead.
Oh, yeah, dead.
I think he's going to be. I think if he's alive. Okay, you know what? We can't. Let's not. I mean, I think he's definitely going to die, but let's be a little more realistic with Rocket because he is kind of like a main Avenger.
I'll say it could help out.
I think he could help out, yeah. All right. Groot. I think he could help out. You know what? Actually, I think I'm gonna veto here. I think Groot could help out. I think Rocket will most likely be on the team. He spent 6 years or 5 years being an Avenger. Him and Rhodey are close. That's true, I think I feel like that's easily lost on a lot of just because it's just one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, him and Nebula technically were Avengers longer than they were ever Guardians, at least on screen. But again, I think if Rocket doesn't die in Guardians 3, which I think he might die in Avengers. Maria Hill. I think no way. Or no dead. Way, no. Let's say dead.
Agreed.
Yeah. Phil Coulson. This might just be the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in my heart. I'm going to put him on could help out. Okay. Coulson, if they bring back the Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which there's rumors that Daisy from that, as Quake is going to be coming back with Chloe Bennett. if they find a way to fold things from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back in, this dude was a robot. He was Ghost Rider for a little bit there. Like, Phil's got some surprises up his sleeve that I think that he could help out with. But I definitely don't think he's going to be an Avenger. Let's go with Billy and Tommy. So, Wiccan, little magic boy.
Could.
I think I'll put them both on could help out. Little, you could have a speedster and a little magic guy help out. Morgan, I don't think there's no way, because she's only going to be like 8 at this point. What the hell is she going to do? Shang-Chi's sister, Jia Ling, I don't think. I think it's similar with some of the TVA people, some of the Eternals. I think it's just, we just got to focus on other people. It's the same way that Valkyrie wasn't in Infinity War. You have to kind of go with, who do we need to tell this story, stuff like that. And then I think Secret Wars is where you bring everybody in.
Well, I think you can call out Kate Bishop and Florence Pugh as definites, in my opinion. Yes,
I agree 1,000%. I don't see any world right now. I think that our definitely is like all of this open to interpretation. I think our definitely is like rock solid right now. I don't see any way of all 6 of these not being definite Avengers. But yeah. Molly Joins says, "Hey there, how's your evening?" Good. We are deciding who we think will be part of the Avengers team in Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. Let's go with Katie with her bow and arrow. I think, unfortunately, Awkwafina would be dead before they even left.
Wow.
Echo, dead.
Yeah, no.
She's not even a super. She has like the heightened senses and stuff and the great martial arts, but she's got no super soldier, nothing like that. Jimmy Woo, I think definitely probably top. No, I think no way they're on the team. I don't think that they would kill Jimmy Woo. He's just too big of a favorite character. But no, just no. This one, bit of a shot in the dark. Adam Warlock. We don't. Really
I couldn't even tell who that was.
Yeah, he looks like a kid in that art. I mean, it's great art, but clearly this was made before the trailers for Guardians 3 started dropping. Adam Warlock, I think I'll say will most likely be on the team. I think that I won't put him indefinitely, because if Guardians 3 ends and he's in like a bad place or something, then I don't think so. But I think it could be, because Will Poulter's one of those guys too that's just like, you don't cast Will Poulter to keep him on the sidelines. All right, let's throw in a curveball here. Kang himself. So I'm assuming this would mean He Who Remains, or some sort of a positive Kang variant, let's say. Let's go with that. So what do you think? Do you think that he could help take down himself?
Give it a could help out, possibly.
I agree. I think that there would definitely be a time where we will meet another, if He Who Remains was kind of a benevolent Kang, just kind of not caring either way, I think there's a chance we could meet a good Kang, a good Nathaniel Richards, that could help out. Cassie Lang, I feel like could help out, because I feel like they're really going to make her a big character in this third Ant-Man movie. So I don't want to underestimate her too much. Okay. This is a tough one. Scott Lang. Now, I would say definitely. But what if he dies?
I'll give it a most likely.
Yeah, I feel like I put him with Thor, where it's like pending any sort of like heroic sacrifice. I think they would be on it definitely. But I think there's a chance that something might happen to them. Let's go with Carol Danvers. What do you think?
I think I'll go likely.
I agree. Because also I feel like there has to be a certain out of your depthness.
Right. That
I think the important thing is, this is going to be the team, but this is not the team that is going to take down Kang. That's a very important distinction. Is that I think that kind of like we saw in Infinity War, they might go in a little, half-cocked and not on stable footing. But speaking of stable footing, I think their leader is obviously going to be Sam Wilson. And let's see. Oh, Daredevil. Let's say Daredevil. What do you think? I think maybe most likely.
Most likely. Yeah.
Because you got to think, he was in Spider-Man, She-Hulk. He's about to be in his own show. He's going to be in other shows, and he's going to be in Echo. He's probably going to be in another movie. He might be in Spider-Man 4. All of that is before this movie. So, I think you could see a lot more character building from Daredevil in between. Nick Fury, I think maybe dead. I don't even know if maybe Nick Fury doesn't make it out of Secret Invasion. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, because
maybe Nick Fury is already dead.
Being Nick Fury, right? That's possible.
I agree with you though. I think he loves being Nick Fury. But I'll go. You know what? I'll go no way.
Okay.
Just because I think he's going to be one of those people that he's going to be around until the end of the MCU. Heimdall, homie's already dead. Oh wait, fuck. But no, is he though? Because he was like, oh, welcome to Valhalla. We're still alive in here.
Nah,
I forgot about that.
Leave him at that. He's dead.
What about Jane?
Jane, dead.
Jane Fonda. All right. Valkyrie.
Valkyrie
I think could help out.
Could help out. Yep.
For sure. Korg, no way.
No way. Nope.
Hawkeye. Let's put real world issues aside.
Yeah.
That sounded bad. Jeremy Renner, I hope you had a fast recovery.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean he did anything wrong. Yeah, I think could help out. I think that he's not going to know that Kate is going to go on this mission with them or whatever. But I don't think that he's going to be going because, the dude's retired. He might call in a few favors, send in Linda Cardellini for him. Let's get some of these Guardians down. So, Mantis.
No way.
Yeah, I think no way. I think she might be a goner too. Nebula, I think either could help out or most likely.
I think I'll go could help out.
Yeah. Right. Gamora.
Gamora, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think no way.
Let's go with Blade.
Blade.
So we'll have the Blade movie by then. We'll have probably another appearance by him by then. I think he...
I'll say I could.
Yeah, I think he could help out. Trying to balance some heavy hitters still. Let's go with Maya. What is it? The Red Sparrow? The bird lady?
From what movie?
That's Moon Knight. Maya.
Oh, right.
Gosh, it's been too long since I've seen Moon Knight.
I don't think so.
I would say no way.
No way.
Yeah. I don't think she's gonna die. I don't think she's gonna be in it. I just think there's no way. Monica. So Monica could have a big part to play. I don't know.
I think most likely.
Yeah, I'll put her right with Carol there. Because I think, like I said, I think there's some power dynamic between these four that somehow it's all linked together. That they're all drawing on the similar energy with the bands and the rings and everything like that. The power broker herself, Sharon Carter. I think she's dead.
Oh, I think she's dead. Okay.
Well, I think yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt's Star-Lord.
I think no way.
I agree.
I think Chris Pratt is done
that's a hard
this.
agree.
Or not, not like dead, but
I know what you mean. I think it's maybe sit this one out and then maybe he'll be in Secret Wars type thing. Yeah. I think let's see. Sorry, Wong, I got to do it to you, man. Who's next? Wong. I think
Oh, they're going to say dead.
I would if there was... Well, there's reports that apparently they're fast-tracking another Doctor Strange movie between now and this.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, shit.
Apparently. I think I'm going to go could help out.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm with you on that.
All right. I feel like these last four are pretty tough.
I don't know.
I think she could help out. I feel like she's more of a Secret Wars. I don't know where
she's going. What are we doing with her character?
I feel like she's more of a Secret Wars because she can tap into the multiverse. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe she'll be in the movie for sure. Because that's the other thing too, is that we're not saying who's going to be in the movie. We're saying what is the Avengers team within the movie going to be. So I think maybe she'll be a post-credit, punching a star through Kang and being like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. how cool would that be though if there's like a Portals moment from Endgame, but it's like you see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield
punching a bunch of stars.
Yeah, we just see like all the Spider-Men walk out of these stars and shit. That would be so cool. I love that effect on her little travel thing. Okay, let's get down to the 3 serious ones. I think Doctor Strange, in my opinion, I think definitely. What do you think?
I'd agree with that. Again, maybe this is Benedict Cumberbatch's last ride.
WandaVision. That's not her name. Wanda Maximoff.
I'm gonna say
dead.
Man, no, I don't think so. I'm gonna say most likely.
I agree. I think, yeah, because she's got to redeem herself. She's got to come back around. You know what I mean? She's got to come back around the other side. And then I don't know about you. I think that my guy is definitely. I think that he's going to be, because you got.
Oh, yeah, this is the West Coast Avengers.
Exactly. Yeah, he might. Yeah, honestly, if you look at this lineup, there are a lot of West Coast Avengers on it. Yeah, really. I actually didn't even think about that. You got Kate Bishop, you got She-Hulk, White Vision, and Sam Wilson. All in the comics have been West Coast Avengers. You got Vision Quest. You got, he's probably going to be, actually, I think they've said he's definitely going to be in Armor Wars, maybe even in Secret Invasion. I don't think that Paul Bettany's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. I think they're just going to keep going on with that character. But that is it. So our official Avengers team is Sam Wilson as Captain America, Ms. Marvel, Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, Spider-Man, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, Yelena Belova, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, and White Vision. And then you can see here all of our most likely to be on the team could help out. No way are they part of the team, and then they're dead before this fight even begins. It will be very, very interesting to see where this kind of goes. We'll pull this back up, when we get closer to it. Maybe, we'll pull it up when the movie comes out, and we'll see how we did. But guys, I think that will do it. Unless, is there anything else that we wanted to touch on here? Yeah, I think that will do it, guys. Oh, TJ, how did you feel about this week's episode of The Last of Us?
Yeah, I'm surprised this wasn't on like the docket for today. Another good episode. Interesting to see this new character that we were introduced to, not in the game.
That's what I heard.
So they strayed from the storyline quite a bit from the game. So I'm interested to see how this character goes. I'm excited. Next week we get the big one, the big infected. I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, the bloater, right? Isn't that what they're
saying? I
saying? Believe
that's what it's called. I could be wrong.
And then I don't know who
that
these
might be
people
Left
are.
4 Dead terms. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, no, that sounds right actually.
Yeah.
And then I have not gotten to this part of the game, obviously, but I've heard this is the Sam and Henry week, which apparently that is a very big thing. So I cannot wait to see that kind of unfold. But if you guys want some of my quick thoughts on it, I did post my own episode 4 quick reaction. But we are going to, I think, call it there and then probably do a bigger review. We're also going to have, and I'm telling TJ this for the first time right now, Bad Batch. Somehow, some way, we are already at the mid-season mark. So there's going to be a big two-part episode drop tonight or tomorrow morning, with 2 full half-hour episodes that are apparently going to feature. They're going to feature Rex will be in them, and people that already have the screeners are calling them 2 of the best animated Star Wars episodes of all time. And people are saying, think episode 3 of season 2 of The Bad Batch. So if it's going to be anything like the Crosshair Cody episode, sign me up. So we'll probably be talking major Last of Us and also major Bad Batch next week as well, just because there's not a lot coming out. And then after next week, so next week's Tuesday show will be the 14th. Then at some point over that weekend, we will be going to see Ant-Man Quantumania, and then we will be reviewing that. I will have my quick review up. I will probably post a quick review on TikTok and Instagram. And then we will probably do a full spoiler discussion the next Tuesday on the 21st. So until then, guys, there are some of the things that we've got cooking for you guys. You can go check out the channel right now. We got a whole bunch of stuff. I've been posting a ton of reviews. I got my Knock at the Cabin review. I have my Megan review up on the channel and a couple other things as well. So until then, guys, that'll do it for me. I've been one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
Everyone, your other host, TJ Cornwall, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about any of the topics below. Follow us on our social medias, and we will see you next time.